They ignored you when you had nothing to prove. They walked past your silence because they mistook your patience for weakness. But Machiavelli understood something the world forgets. The person who rebuilds in silence becomes dangerous because nobody sees the preparation. You do not need their attention while you are sharpening your mind. Discipline and position. The loud announce their intentions. The powerful reveal only results. This is the philosophy of silent construction. This is the mindset of someone who stops begging to be recognized and starts becoming impossible to ignore. Machiavelli studied power, human behavior, and the hidden rules behind influence. His lesson was never about chasing approval. It was about understanding that people often respect outcomes more than effort, results more than promises, and strength more than explanations. When they ignore you, they are giving you something valuable. Distance. Distance gives you space to observe, improve, and transform without interference. The modern world rewards visibility, but real power is created before visibility. You see people trying to convince others of their worth, constantly explaining their goals, defending their choices, and seeking validation. Machiavelli would consider this a weakness of position. A person who needs constant recognition gives control to the opinions of others. A person who builds quietly controls their own direction. Your first shift is this: stop measuring your progress by how many people notice you. The person who is truly advancing does not need an audience during preparation. A sword is not displayed while it is being forged. It is hidden in fire, shaped through pressure, and revealed only when it is ready. Machiavelli's approach begins with awareness. You must understand the environment around you. Who supports you? Who only appears when you succeed? Who ignores your potential because they only judge your current position? This awareness is not about bitterness. It is about strategy. A wise person studies reality instead of fighting against it. When people ignore you, do not waste energy trying to force them to see you. Their perception is not your mission. Your mission is development. Every hour spent proving yourself to people who already decided to underestimate you is an hour stolen from your own growth. Machiavelli's ideal person is not emotional chaos. It is controlled ambition. This person understands that reactions reveal weakness. If someone doubts you, let them. If someone underestimates you, allow them. Their mistake can become your advantage because they are not preparing for your transformation. The world often laughs at unfinished potential because it only recognizes finished success. But your responsibility is not to convince the world during your building phase. Your responsibility is to create a version of yourself that speaks without words. You need 3 forms of power: mental power, personal power, and strategic power. Mental power means controlling your thoughts. Most people lose because they allow outside opinions to control their internal state. One compliment raises them. One insult destroys them. Machiavelli's mindset demands emotional independence. You cannot lead yourself if everyone else controls your emotions. Personal power means becoming valuable. Skills, knowledge, discipline, communication, and confidence create your position. Nobody can permanently ignore someone who creates undeniable value. Attention can be requested, but respect is earned through capability. Strategic power means knowing when to move and when to remain silent. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every criticism deserves an answer. Not every opportunity deserves acceptance. A powerful person understands timing. Machiavelli recognized that people often reveal their true nature through circumstances. When you are rising, many people will suddenly claim they believed in you, but during your silent phase, you discover who actually respects the process. This is why your ignored period can become your strongest training ground. You are not building for revenge. Revenge keeps your mind connected to the people who underestimated you. The higher strategy is becoming so focused on your mission that their opinions become irrelevant. The ultimate victory is not making them regret ignoring you. The ultimate victory is reaching a level where their recognition no longer matters. The person who grows in silence develops something rare: self-command. They no longer need permission. They no longer wait for someone to choose them. They create their own path, their own standards, and their own identity. Machiavelli's philosophy teaches that appearance matters, but foundation matters more. Many people try to look successful before becoming successful. They display confidence without competence. They create an image without substance. But the disciplined individual builds substance first. Your silent period should not be empty time. It should be a strategic operation. Every day should strengthen something. Your body, your mind, your skills, your network, your financial understanding, or your ability to make decisions. People may not see the work you are doing. That does not reduce its value. A foundation underground is invisible, but it determines how high the building can rise. The mistake many people make after being ignored is seeking revenge through attention. They want to return and show everyone what they missed. But Machiavelli would ask a different question. Why return to people who fail to recognize your value when you can build a world where your value is obvious? Your focus should move from being noticed to becoming powerful. Power is not noise. Power is preparation. Power is discipline repeated when nobody is watching. Power is the ability to continue without applause. When you understand this, being ignored changes meaning. It stops being an insult and becomes an advantage. It becomes the quiet space where your next identity is created. The person who survives being overlooked develops patience. The person who uses that patience develops strength. And the person who combines patience with action becomes someone others cannot easily influence. This is the Machiavellian mindset, not chasing the crowd, but mastering yourself first. They ignored you when you were building. They ignored you when you had no proof, no position, and no applause around your name. They looked at your silence and assumed you had nothing to offer. But Machiavelli understood a reality most people fail to understand. The person who disappears from the noise and rebuilds with discipline returns with power. The world respects what it cannot dismiss. Your silence is not emptiness. Your silence is where your strategy is formed, your weakness is removed, and your next level is created. The one who builds unseen often becomes the one nobody can stop. Machiavelli was not interested in pleasing people. He studied human behavior, influence, and the hidden mechanics of power. His philosophy was built around one principle: understand reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. And reality is simple. People often value results more than intentions. They notice victory more than struggle. They respect strength more than potential. This is why your silent period matters. When people ignore you, you are given a rare opportunity. You are removed from the pressure of constantly proving yourself. You are given the space to improve without interruption. The weak person uses this period to complain. The strategic person uses this period to prepare. Machiavelli's ideal person is not someone who reacts to every insult, every rejection, or every moment of disrespect. The ideal person controls their emotions because emotional control creates strategic advantage. If someone ignores you, you do not chase their attention. If someone doubts you, you do not waste your energy explaining. If someone underestimates you, you do not correct their opinion. You allow their misunderstanding to become your advantage, because while they are comfortable with the old version of you, you are creating a new one. The biggest mistake people make is trying to prove their worth before they have built their value. They announce plans. They seek approval. They explain every move. But Machiavelli would recognize this as a loss of power. The person who reveals every intention gives others the ability to judge, criticize, and interfere. A stronger approach is silence. Not because you are afraid, because you are focused. A person building an empire does not spend every day convincing strangers that construction is happening. They build, they organize, they improve, they let the final structure speak. Your life should follow the same principle. Your first responsibility is becoming someone you can respect, not someone the crowd approves, not someone who receives constant validation, someone who has control over their mind, habits, decisions, and direction. Machiavelli's mindset begins with self-mastery. Before controlling your environment, control yourself. A person who cannot control their emotions can be controlled by anyone. A person who depends on approval can be manipulated by anyone. A person who needs constant recognition gives away their power. But the person who can stand alone, improve alone, and continue without applause becomes difficult to defeat. Your silent rebuilding phase requires 3 things: discipline, awareness, patience. Discipline means doing what must be done even when nobody notices. Most people only work when they receive encouragement. They only continue when people support them. They only move when someone believes in them. But powerful people operate differently. They understand that progress is created before recognition arrives. A farmer does not dig up the seed every day to check if it is growing. The seed requires time. The same applies to your development. Your skills need time. Your confidence needs time. Your transformation needs time. The mistake is expecting immediate evidence from long-term work. Machiavelli understood timing. He understood that power is not only about action. It is about knowing when action creates the greatest impact. There is a season for learning, a season for preparation, a season for execution. Many people fail because they want the final stage without respecting the process. They want influence without knowledge. They want success without discipline. They want respect without becoming valuable. But the world does not operate on wishes. The world responds to value. If you want people to recognize you differently, become different. Upgrade your thinking. Upgrade your skills. Upgrade your environment. Your transformation should not be based on proving someone wrong. That keeps your mind connected to them. Your transformation should be based on becoming someone who no longer needs their approval. That is true freedom. Machiavelli would say that a person who depends on others for confidence is always vulnerable. But a person who creates confidence internally becomes powerful. You must stop asking, "Why did they ignore me?" Start asking, "What am I building while they are distracted?" Because every moment spent thinking about their opinion is a moment removed from your mission. The world is full of people watching. Some are waiting for you to fail. Some are waiting to see what happens. Some will only respect you after success appears. But your job is not to manage their reactions. Your job is to manage yourself. A powerful person understands that attention is temporary. Respect is built. Influence is earned. Character is developed. The person who builds silently is creating something deeper than an image. They are creating identity. And identity is the foundation of lasting power.